By implementing that solution that we're going to discuss today, you can reduce up to 35% of the manual intake and increase the speed of patient registration up to 30%. They're trying to patch this process with a different small application that kind of can help them to optimize this process, but also it's like a small patches on the big problems, and that doesn't work, which is create instability. So the process of taking information is broken. That's create the errors in the future, and as a result, the burnout of your employees. As a standalone solution, it doesn't work. You need to create the flow where the system will walk the patient through and answer all their questions and create a very understandable step-by-step logic that they will understand. They will fill it up, and they will get that great result and appointment in the end. No visibility means no control. What it means in the simple words: if you do not have operational layer, if you do not have a real-time view at the processes in your system, and you do not have a real conclusion that you will build in the future, they will be built on some previous results, maybe from 1 month before, maybe in the best case of scenario 1 week before, but still you're going to get this data not in real time, but from the past. We reduce the manual coordination on 25%, and which is a great solution for the operational managers to understand the 25% cut. That's something good. Probably not 100, as we discussed before, but 25 is also great. And we created a 35% faster operational decision-making flow based on the one operational layer on top of the 5 different systems. Welcome to our webinar, Healthcare Without the Chaos. As I already introduced myself, my name is Yuri and I'm a partnership manager, and this is Lana. She's the head of strategy, growth, and innovation and data forest. Why we're here today and why everything that we're going to say worth to listen and take into consideration as the next steps in the future for your business. Data Forest is web development company with a focus on data services. We work for more than 18 years with data. However, as a company, we exist already for almost 9 years. We have 170 people on board. We already accomplished more than 250 different projects all over the globe. We're located in Europe. However, our main focus, this is United States market, and we work there for a pretty long time. And about 75% of our clients located in US. We are focused on the different domains. It can be fintech, e-commerce, supply chain. However, lately we start focusing specifically on the healthcare industry because we see a lot of potential there for AI usage and data integrations that can help you guys to run your business more efficiently and save a lot of time and money, and also make your employees much happier and less busy. So that's briefly about us and why it's worth to listen. So Lana, can you please give us another slide so I can move on? All right. So I think, guys, all of you seen this situation before when you're coming to the healthcare facility, that can be some clinic or maybe some another organization, and you see the long queues there, and you kind of surprised why it's happening. That's a lot of people around you, there are a lot of employees who's trying to do their best to keep the queues running much faster. However, what do we see? We see that the queues just getting bigger and bigger, people trying to increase their head count, trying to avoid some double booking and avoid the cancellation, but it doesn't work. And why it's happening? Because a lot of clients coming to the healthcare facilities, and that creates some chaos. So basically, if we're gonna take a look at this situation step by step, how this look like and what kind of problem that can cause. Everything starts from the intake. When the first time patients contacting your medical facility, they do not get some proper response or maybe some form that they have to fill out. They just contact you, come into the clinic, and if that's not a one patient, a few patients, they create a small queue. And after that, your employees have to take their data into consideration, put it in a system. It takes a lot of time, and the more data you're getting, the less clarity of that data you have. After that, that create more time spending, more queues, and as a result, you losing a lot of money and a lot of patients because they're getting frustrated, they're leaving the queues, they don't wait for appointments, and they want to change their clinic. And that's exactly what we want to try to avoid at the first stage. So what kind of problems causing this situation? First of all, that's going to be a manual work. Lana, may I get another slide, please? First, manual work. When your employees just giving to your patients some manual paperwork to do, they start filling this out. They have some different handwriting. Maybe they don't understand English. Maybe they don't understand some question. They start asking that question, and that takes a lot of time. Basically, what needs to happen to fix that? In the old school practice, your employees have to create the hero mode and start answering the question to all the people in the same time, but unfortunately, it doesn't work this way nowadays. They're trying to patch this process with a different small application that kind of can help them to optimize this process, but also that's like a small patches on the big problems, and that doesn't work, which is create instability. So the process of taking information is broken. That's create the errors in the future, and as a result, the burnout of your employees. And after that, they cannot work with the same productivity as they worked before, unfortunately. Why it's important? Who needs to listen to that? That's going to be a few keys position that we're expecting to be interested in this speech for today. First, that's going to be our CTO, because technology is a key in our days. CEO and CFO, of course, because that's the operation talk going to be today in the place. After that, head of products, there is no comments here because we can help you to create the better situation in the market for you and better proposing of your product. And the last but not least, that's the medical directors and regional directors, because you guys will work with the operational layer on top of the all information that will help you to take the decision right on the place and do not wait for some reports from the past. So, where is exactly we're losing control in this situation? That's even before the first appointment starts. First, that's going to be a phone calls. When the people calling you and they cannot provide you the proper information because of the bad connection, because of the hard accent, because of the problem with the language barrier, etc., etc., etc. Here's the first thing. After that, manual entry. We already discussed that. When the people filling out the form, that's a lot of problem that can be created there. And the last but not least, that repeated question. When you repeat yourself over and over again, you're getting frustrated, your patient's getting frustrated, and that's create a lot of conflict and bad atmosphere. And that's something that also we need to avoid. So what breaks? Slow first contact breaks first. After that, broken schedules. One simple no-shows can move the entire schedule of the clinic, and that's not good. As a result, errors in the system and burnout in the people. By implementing that solution that we're going to discuss today, you can reduce up to 35% of the manual intake and increase the speed of patient registration up to 30%. And this is going to be the first case that we're going to discuss today. And that exact solution that we implemented in one clinic in Barcelona. And now I want to give the word to Svetlana so she can explain it to you. Lana, that's another talking from my side. Please go ahead, take the word, and tell us a little bit more about this case. You're muted.
Yeah, thanks, Yuri. I'm glad to meet you on this webinar, and I would love to deep dive into the case. So, we have faced with some issues in Barcelona. Barcelona-based outpatient clinic provides classic consultations, diagnostics, and follow-up care. The owner of the clinic told us that he needs to hire 2 employees for the reception. We decided to check what about the workflow, how they manage the initial data of patient, how they manage calls, and so on. So when we start doing this, we were faced with angry patients, with struggling in administrator work, and so on. We saw lots of duplicates, lots of errors, misprints in contact data of patient. We understood that there is no source of truth in this case, and we understood that we need to update this process. So we start from the beginning. we create the first layer, first step layer, preparation layer. We create AI receptionist. It was AI voice bot because they have stable flow from different channels. It was calls, it was online forms, it was telehealth platform, and we understood that all of this, and also it was manual questionnaire at clinic directly. So we understood that we need to keep all of these channels into one model, into one operational system that allow us to manage this. So the first solution was to create AI receptionist. What does it mean? It consists of several parts. The first one part was AI voice bot. AI voice bot has the special script regarding the questions that should be fulfilled with patient before the visit. So from this channel, we got information about the patient contact data, about insurance, about diagnostic results. Also, we took this information, put into internal system. There was existing CRM system. And after that, we recognize those data, put into the correct fields, and connect with some other systems to check the insurance, to check contact data, correctness of contact data, and so on. So this was covered by AI voice bot and some integrations with the internal system. The second step was we understood that online form had the same mistakes, has the same problems, so we decided to manage these as well. We create a RAG model. It's a retrieval augmented generation model. It's a special tool, and this tool consists of different protocols, of different questionnaires. We put also their frequently asked questions, and we put also their all procedures, algorithm, and so on related to the patient workflow. So the online form using this AI chatbot allow patient to fulfill their questionnaire, and we put this into the same system, check for the duplicates, and have correct data, consistent data of the patients. The third step was the same. It was telehealth platforms, and we do the same. We just get the data, put into internal system, check their consistent truth, and have structured and clean data. So you know that on the first month of our project, we got like 99.2% of data accuracy. So I think it's really good result in this case. But we go ahead after this. We understood that we have still some manual work for administrative staff, for receptionists that were sitting in clinic, and we decided to manage this work as well. We create the second RAG model, and we put there instructions and guidelines for administrative staff, and we put there some protocols and guidelines how to fix data with patient and how to help patient answer on their questions. So we minimize the work of receptionist in that way. And the result was that owner told us that I'm not going to have any more 2 more employees for the reception. I know that the reducing of the manual work give me good results and operation visibility. So what we got? Operational efficiency. Clients were satisfied, patients were satisfied because they got everything they need. They were prepared for the visit with the doctor. They spent much less time than before. So we got, as a result, 35% reduction of the manual work of the administrative staff, and we got 30% up to 30% faster patient registration for the first meeting. And of course, as I told you before, 99% of the data were clear, trustable, transparent, and correct, without any duplicates, without any errors, and so on. So we improved the patient experience and everyone was happy. Of course, it was reflecting on the revenue of this clinic, and now it is a stable, clean, clear, trustable clinic at Barcelona with possibility to grow and to scale without need to add some new stuff. Thank you, Yuri. I think our colleagues will have some questions, but I would like to hear them in chat and we'll answer at the end of our webinar.
Yeah. So, Lana, first of all, thank you for providing more detailed explanation what has been done. And I can say from my side that in my personal opinion, 99.2%, that's not a great, that's remarkable result. And that's not easy to achieve that. And I'm glad that we managed that. However, how we manage that? That's another question, and how this result can be reached and how this problem that we discussed can be prevented. First of all, this is patience preparation. If the patients are not prepared because system does not prepare them, you're not going to get a great result. As we already mentioned, yeah, you can send them some SMS with the reminders. You can try to send them some automated schedules. However, as a standalone solution, it doesn't work. You need to create the flow where the system will walk the patient through and answer all their questions and create a very understandable step-by-step logic that they will understand. They will fill it up and they will get the great result and appointment in the end. So basically, we create on the second case, that actually already was the case for American Clinic located in Seattle, the preparation flow. And by implementing that preparation flow, we reduce about 25% the patient intake workload, which is already good. And we cut the time from 12 minutes to 3 to 4 minutes, which is in 4 times faster. So basically, what was happening before? Some random solutions or manual communication with the patients was taking much more time and didn't bring the desirable result. What happened after that? The system was connecting to the client. Client was putting the information there. The system was provided to the information was provided to the system, and the system was giving the information about available slots, filling out the form about the insurance, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to cover that because I want Lana give us a little bit more information from the technical perspective. But the thing that we improve the result on 25% at this stage, that's also pretty good. And I want to hear a little bit more technical details from Lana. So Lana, word to you.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. Seattle is a similar case to Barcelona. It has in some moments the same issues, but in some it's much different. Seattle-based multi-specialty outpatient clinic provide also consultation, diagnostic, and long-term care. This clinic working in high demand environment, so they have lots of patient visits per day, and they need to have a stable physician schedule without any delays, without any struggling, and so on. So when we faced it with this case, first thoughts was, oh, it's the same, it would be easy, nothing special, nothing interesting, and so on. But when we met with our client and when we understood that it's a bit different and a lot different, then we were really happy because it was a really new challenge for us. From the first view, clinic has online forms. They have calls, not automated, but calls with operator. They have chatbots on their site, on their web part, and so on. They have schedule platform, they have shift platform, they have EHR platform integration even. And we faced with that, with the same. We were surprised because the data was duplicated, because it was inconsistent, it was lots of manual work. If in previous case there was not enough, how to say it, enough covered by tools, by systems, there was no integrations at all. Here were existing integrations, but there were not working correctly. So we decided to start from scratch. We make an audit. We understood what is happening. We analyzed lots of documents, internal for patient workflow and so on, and start doing our job. So the first one was we understood that client should fulfill the form. It was a questionnaire that has 36 questions. And there was one big issue, insurance. And sometimes when client come to clinic, he can't get medical services because there was some issues with insurance and so on. So it was reflected not good on the reputation, and admin part, administrative staff should check it manually. So lots of work and no result. So we decided to make this questionnaire as well in AI voice bot. We implemented that in AI voice bot script. We collected necessary data. We put it into online form. Also, we add possibility client to get it through email. We send the reminders, lots of reminders about how to fulfill that form, how to answer on that questionnaire, what should be in it, and so on. Collect all of this data. When we have requests from telehealth platform, we send via email or WhatsApp the link to the questionnaire and ask client to prepare this before the visit. So it really reduce manual work for the first time up to 15%, and on the 6th month we got 25%, reducing the manual work of administrative staff. And this questionnaire work in proper way right now. We got, you told that you highlighted that 99% is good, but here I can tell you that we have 100% unified data, because here we have integrations, and we start check the integrations, implement them, update, improve, because some of them lost some data, some of them was working not correctly. So we create the online form, implemented it into AI voice bot, into online form, add chatbot, create RAG models. If before we create one model for the staff and the patient, here we create two different, because there was not one clinic, but there were two clinics, and they had before different processes. So we need to standardize those processes. So we create algorithm how to work with a patient, how to prepare them. We implement post follow-ups, post-visit follow-ups. Here there were long-term care programs, and we need to implement them as well. So it's not just follow-up reminder or something like this about procedure analysis and so on, but also it's a special steps according with protocols related to long-term care. After this, we got really good results because we cut down significantly manual work of the administrative staff. Questionnaire allowed to be patient prepared and satisfied. So if to consider before, they spent up to 15 minutes to check the data, and there was the delays between the visits, and physician usually don't have enough information to understand the diagnosis or something like this. So, and we built a platform that become internal product for this clinic, and it has all preparation steps, all follow-up steps, all long-term protocols, and so on. So I think we have amazing result in this case, and I think that it can be implemented in different clinics. I would love to share any details if you need. So, Yuri, thank you, and your word.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this definitely, I was wrong when I said 99.2, this great result, because right now we got 100, which is absolutely remarkable result, which is pretty good. And that was a great case, and I'm really happy that we helped that CL clinic with that. And right now we're going to move to our third case, which is the most complex and our favorite, because those one combine the first and the second solution that we implemented in Barcelona and Seattle. However, that covers much, much more on top of that. And if we're gonna talk about this in a very high level and kind of give a topic for that, I would call this no visibility means no control. What it means in the simple words, if you do not have operational layer, if you do not have a real-time view at the processes in your system, and you do not have a real-time predictions, that mean you have nothing, because all the conclusion that you will build in the future, they will be built on some previous results, maybe from 1 month before, maybe in the best case of scenario 1 week before, but still you're going to get this data not in real time, but from the past. First of all, what we've done in this case, and that was a nice clinic in Ottawa, we reduced the manual coordination on 25%, and which is a great solution for the operational managers to understand that 25% cut, that's something good. Probably not 100, as we discussed before, but 25 is also great. And we created a 35% faster operational decision-making flow based on the one operational layer on top of the 5 different systems. In the simple words, we combined everything that was going on in that clinic under one hood. We put our hands and all the data and all the process. We optimized all those things and got amazing result that I would like to learn from Svetlana. Svetlana, please tell us a little bit more about our favorite case and result that we reached there and how we managed to do that.
Yeah, Ottawa is my favorite case as well, because it's really big, really huge, and lots of things to show, but small time, so I will try to be very direct and brief. So we met Ottawa clinic present. We met them on the conference, and from the beginning we understood that there was no enough operational visibility, and the CEO told us about that he spent sometimes from 2 weeks up to 3 weeks creating reports. He told us that there are a lot of numbers that are not trustable, and in some cases he even didn't know who is the owner of those numbers and how did they get into the report. So we understood that there is no visibility, operational visibility and financial visibility, because if you have no operational visibility, you can't forecast anything, you can't understand where is the revenue, what profit will you get, how to improve the work with providers, and so on. So we decide, as usual, from discovery step, from scratch, from audit, we start working with lots of departments, and each department show us its pain point. So the first department that we are faced with, as usual, it was receptionists. And we have huge expertise in this area right now, and we understood how to implement it. As well, we use AI receptionist and we use RAG models. But here I need to tell you that there was different RAG models, one RAG model, huge RAG model, with different access, because they have it approximately 60 or 62 clinics. They allocated not just in Canada, but also in United States. It's a corporation with two brands, and we have lots of issues in these clinics. The first challenge was that different departments in different, they have head count and head common departments, and then some duplicates in Canada and United States. And in both, there were different processes, even different tools, even different integrations. It means that not even one source of truth. It was like, I don't know, million sources of truth. And we started working with this, and we understood that it's really a big problem to manage that from the owner side, from the founder side. So we decided to standardize the processes during all clinics in United States and in Canada, because they have different law and they have different protocols for patient in some cases. Even different systems, tools, integration tools, for example, for insurance. There are different tools in these countries. So we create something like a data warehouse or data lake. I don't know how to say it better. So clean, correct, and so on. We built integrations between the systems, of course, because we start as usual from the automating the patient flow, preparation flow, post flow regarding the long-term care protocols. We start building RAG models. It was a huge RAG model for different departments. We upload all internal documents and external documents related to the process. We create an algorithm that allow to show the department communication and department activities and between department activities. We put all frequently asked questions into the this model, so we cover all the process with this model. So we in that way we cut down the first step manual work and the second step manual work, in internal manual work as well. The next step was we understood that we need to reduce time for creating the report. So we built some operational model, and we use, I think you know what is medallion architecture. It's the system that allowed to share data on 3 steps, like bronze, silver, and gold. First step, we are collecting everything from everywhere. Then we classify this data, and then we can use it for focused and so on. So we do that. We create integration between call platform, voice platform, between EHR platform, telehealth platform. There was lots of telehealth platforms. Insurance, billing. We add also billing because patients need to have comfort billing process as well, online, by the way. So it was an integration of different systems and building structured architecture with clear workflow of the data from different sources with KPIs and so on. After that, we reduced manual work with reports from 80 hours up to 5 hours. We also add platforms which we integrate with providers' platforms, and it keeps good results. We improve the provider utilization up to 15%. We create unified data. It was 99 and 9%, like 100 almost. Of course, when you have report, when you have clear visibility, clear numbers, then you can check limitations, understand if you have some bottlenecks, and make decision much faster. So we reduce we make up to 35 decision making faster, and reduce manual coordination from the owner side up to 25%. So we got a huge system which allow to have real-time operational dashboard and standardize all workflow regarding the patient flow, administrative flow, HR flow, doctor's flow, and so on. So it's a really big project. You can find it on our site. If you need some details about it, I'm glad to talk about this in details. So let's make a small summary about why it doesn't work. Because when we have lots of manual work from the staff side, we will have fatigue. We will have pure client-patient experience, and we'll have bad reviews, negative reviews, and it will result on our revenue. If we have lots of data and we have no source of truth, of course, we will have lots of duplicates, mistakes, errors, misprints. We have lots of manual work to check all of it and to create something. So, of course, it will lead in negative way to our revenue. If our patient unprepared, we have lots of disruptions in physician schedule. We have lots of cancellations, delays, and of course, it will lead to our revenue. Follow-ups and recalls. We are losing our patients if we are not good doctors, if we are not smiling, if we have no time to communicate with them, if we have sick processes, and if and of course, if we didn't remind them about what they should do. So the same, we will have low revenue. And operational and visibility control. If we are blind in operations, we can see what providers utilization amount, what result they show, what bottlenecks we have, what limitations, why our standards didn't work in the clinic, then we have low revenue. So let's talk how it reflects on our cost. If we don't want to transform, then we have something like overcasted financial model like this: administrative waste. For example, imagine that you have one receptionist. Usually in United States, it costs from 3 up to 6,000 per month. If to consider 2 and 5 FTE, then we will have losses 7 and 5,000 per month. So if to consider the year, it's approximately $90,000 per year. The same leads to the inefficient follow-ups and recalls. If we lose like 20 up to 20% of chronic patients, then we will have the same 90,000 of losses per year. About avoidable cancellation. We have told you that we can reduce this rate. Yes, it's cool, but usually if you have cancellation rate, then you know that it's from 8 up to 40%. Sometimes it much more, sometimes less. Average amount approximately 15%. So if to consider 200 appointments per month and 120 average volume per one appointment, then you will lose 14,000 per month and more than 170 per year. The same about bottlenecks in operations. If to consider providers, 6-8 hour loss per month, 20 providers per month, and 1 hour cost like $110. So you will lose approximately $150,000 per year. Approximately, the total loss due to manual workflows usually like $500,000 per year. So it's your decision to transform your system or not. But you know now how much it costs. Thank you, Yuri.
Wow. Yeah, so I would say that $500,000 in losing, that's a lot of money. I mean, not just for me, but for any organization. I mean, if you don't print the money, you definitely don't want to waste that money and you want to keep them inside of the company and use for the next growth. So yeah, if we're gonna just summarize everything that we said today and all the three cases that we went through, that's gonna be a very simple but very powerful numbers. First one, if you want to improve your intake and access layer, you can do this and reduce up to 50% in administrative workload to make it faster. If we're talking about automation of patient journey, you can make it on 25% faster. And if we're going to cover all of them with the operational intelligence, we're talking about the real-time decisions that can be made in the right time. And I think this is worth much more than $500,000 per year because in the end of the day, even we work in the healthcare, you save not just the time and money, but you save lives. And this is the most important thing. But to get a better understanding how it can work and how it can be implemented in your clinic, here's the short transformation roadmap from 4 to 12 months, how that's going to look like. I'm not going to dive into every single small step. I will just tell you overall how that works. So in the beginning, we're going to dive into discovery with your team to understand how everything works on your side. After that, we're going to move to our team where we will create the infrastructure and architecture for your solution that will be optimized to your needs and to your requests. So basically that will cover and patch all the pain points that you have in your specific clinic. It's going to be solution designed specifically for you. After that, when we figure out that things, we're going to move to the building of that solution. And here our expertise on 18 years in data services will be right in a place where we will have the best specialists who will help you to build the best solution for your specific needs in your specific clinics. After that, we will provide the result to your friends or maybe to your clinic that you can start testing and give us some feedbacks. And after that, based on the feedbacks, we're going to polish that. And in the end, provide you 100% polished, great result that can be in use. However, if you will still need some help, with the post-maintain support, that's something that we also can help you with. Don't forget that we have a big team, 170 full-time engineers, and they're all our employees. So basically, we do not work with some random freelancers. We work directly with the specialists that we know capabilities, and we know what they can, and we know how they can help you. And after that, what kind of outcomes can you get from that solution? First of all, operational impact. 85% reduction in manual intake work. 85. Think about that. If you spend 100 grams on that, that's going to cost you 15. From 30 to 50% fewer administrative bottlenecks. No bottlenecks, faster and more streamlined process, which is also great. And after that, up to 30% faster patient throughput. For clinic prepared patients means that good reputation gonna be right on the top of your clinic. Staff impact. You will have happy employees without the burnouts, but with a great mood and energy to work more and more for the success of your clinic and themselves. And the last but not least, as a leader, you will understand that less headache you have, the more you can focus on business. And I think that's the greatest result that you can get as a leader. So it's up to you to decide, is that the right time for you to step into this process of automation and AI integration? Or just keep watching like other clinics do that and getting successful. However, in a few years, when you will be out of the business, you will be thinking, why I didn't do this earlier? Why I didn't step at that boat at that time? When everybody's going to be ahead of you, you will be doing the same thing manually, losing money, losing time, and blaming yourself. Why I didn't do this earlier? Please don't be at that boat. Make a step further and decide about new steps right today. And if you want to talk about this with our team, me and Lana will be happy to assist you with that. We can schedule any appointments after that and answer all the questions specifically for you. And I think that's it from our side for today. Thank you guys for listening, me and Lana. And as I promised in the beginning, we still have a 10 minutes of time to answer all the questions that you might have. If you have some, please shoot them in the chat and we are happy to cover them.